All right, we're an hour early today. Since white Minneapolis police killed George Floyd in 2020, there have been 4,500 more murders by cops since then.
As a matter of fact, for every somebody's talking.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you got to tell me your. That's funny. As a matter of fact, for every 1 million people, 77 blacks are killed by police compared to 27 white.
Black women are 2 to 3 times more likely to die during childbirth than their white counterparts.
And black children are more likely to have asthma than any kid from any other race in America.
Nearly 40% of our children grow up in an environment where there is not clean water and the environment is unhealthy.
4 in 10 black men aged 20 or older have high blood pressure, a rate 30% higher than that of white men.
And 45% of black women over the age of 20.
But we risk stroke twice than that of white men. And black men have 40% higher cancer rate death.
See? Black Americans are 80% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes than whites and nearly twice as likely to be hospitalized.
And a lifetime of racism makes Alzheimer's more common in our communities than in any white community.
Surprisingly, in the counties where there are more Black doctors, the mortality rate among our community is lower. I wonder why.
Well, Black households are twice as likely as white households not to have access to clean water. Per what is the place in Michigan?
Yeah. Flint, Michigan. I mean, it's in Michigan, it's in Mississippi, it's in Alabama, it's in Louisiana, it's in Ohio, it's in Pennsylvania. Like, this is going on. And you guys talk about that it's not safe in other places. And yet in America, in the greatest country, in the richest country on earth, our communities do not have clean drinking water. Let's talk about wealth. In 2019, the Federal Reserve figured out that our community has 15% of the wealth of white families.
And according to Social Security Administration, about 38% of people of color rely on Social Security
as their only
form of retirement.
Of income, right?
Income retirement.
Right?
Retirement.
Right? Black women are more likely to be caregivers of their spouse, of their parents, of grandkids, of their nieces and nephews, right? And because of that, we're often quitting our jobs or working less, putting less money into Social Security, less money into 401ks, meaning we can never retire. This is life in America. Let's talk about mental health.
Black teenagers report experiencing an average of 5 instances of racial discrimination every day.
Between 1999 and 2019, a study was done. Suicide rates in our community with our kids have gone up 80%. And the cause? Racism.
About 53% of Black youth experience moderate to severe symptoms of depression, and about 20% said they are exposed to racial depression or trauma often or very often in their life.
And even if you do not experience it directly, studies show that even vicarious racism, in other words, experiencing the racism that we see on TV and in the news and other things, still has a negative impact on our health. And we're going to be honest, we're sick and tired. We're sick and tired of people getting into our comments and asking, why would we move from the greatest country on earth to the country that started the transatlantic slave trade?
Or why would you leave the U.S.? Our ancestors built this.
They built that mug. We deserve this, right? Why would you leave the U.S. and not go to Africa?
Why would you leave the U.S.? Trump is coming back.
Why would you leave the U.S.? Trump's going to lose.
Why would you leave the U.S. when everybody else is trying to come here?
Ashley in Africa, a friend of Our Black Utopia, just did a video called I Am Tired of Pretending. There is a Black America is in crisis.
See what you did, Ashley?
Black America is in crisis. If you want to watch that video, the information is below. Right now, we're going to introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money because money is freedom, travel, and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early. All right, what are we talking about today?
Life for Black Americans. Is America?
It's getting worse.
Is it failing? Is it starting to spiral?
There is a downward spiral in America, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the signs that show that America is in a downward spiral. If you don't have your passport, why not? If your kids don't have their passports, it's up to you to make sure that they get them. Y'all, don't be goofy. All right, let's see who is in the chat before we get to the signs that the U.S. is failing. You'll want to stick around to the end because we want to hear from you on the reasons why you're afraid to move. Why are you still waiting? Why are you still waiting? That's what we want to know. So I have to show this first. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm sick and tired of the heartbreak that I feel when I look at our folks going for the okie doke in the United States of America. We do not have to put up with it. We don't have to put up with it. Hey, Karen Louise, daylight savings almost had me missing the beginning of this episode. Hola, Halisi, Rick, and OBU community. Catching the live from Cali. Look, I had to check several different sources to make sure we were going to do this at the right time. We noticed that that Rashida was an hour late because time didn't change in Mexico, just like time didn't change here in Portugal, not until the end of the month. Hey, Maria, good to see you. Hey, Ra, good to see you. Vicky's in the house. Shanora, Mary is in the house. Y'all, we're going to get serious today, and we're going to talk about it. You know, Helen is in here from Wilmington, Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
Expert E's Tax Talks. Hey, y'all. Greta Cobb is in the house, and Jametta. Hey, K. Renee, good to see you. Not soon enough. Yakota, hola, minha, obiu familia. Speaking that Portuguese, well, trying to anyway. Hey, Jametta, good to see you. Frederica is in the house. Sir Panther Man, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Hey, Jess. Mary, good you could join us today. Can't wait to see what. If you don't know, check out Mary's YouTube channel. Check out her YouTube channel. Mary, put it in the chat, but don't put the .com because it won't take. Just put the name of your channel in the chat. Hey, Dr. Donna, good to see you. Carmen is in the house. Miss J. Jontel is in the house. That sounds like a new name.
Miss Joe Jontel.
This is J-A-E.
Jontel. I'm looking at it from this.
He needs more medicine in his glasses. He needs more medicine in his glasses.
Oh, these are my wrong glasses.
No, those are the right ones.
You sure?
Look. Somebody is logging in from Merida. Is it hot there? Because it's cold here. Send us some of your heat. Hey, Jess, good to see you. Marguerite is in the house here in Lisboa. Hey, Vivian. Amani is in the house here from Lisboa. Good to see you. Vicky. Oh, a new name. Navis DR Doctor. I don't know if it's from the Dominican Republic or DR as in doctor. I don't know, but good to see you. Love it. And another new name. Let me see. Wait.
There
we go.
Okay.
Maisha Solora.
Maisha.
I don't know. I don't know if we're pronouncing this right. Girlfriend, I love it. I love your hair. It's banging. It's banging. If I had that much hair, I'm telling you. So y'all know the thing. Put a Q if you want your comment or your question shown on screen. We are going to get to Hey Isan One now that I know who you are.
Yeah.
Good to see you in the chat. And Tia the Dreamer, another new name. Good to see you. Dr. Donna, the Art Appraiser. Good to see you back. Good to see you back. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Krishan. If y'all don't know, look, if Portugal is the place, then y'all know we have partnered with Krishan of Blacks at Global to do the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. The replays are available, y'all, from Rooter to the Tutor, everything that you need to know. It's funny how many people book calls with us, and that's a faster way, but for the same amount of money, you could get everything. You could get everything from taxes to healthcare to everything about Portugal. That's the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, or the June 17th, June 18th meetup here in Lisbon that we're partnering with Blacks at Global with is in the description below. Hey, Krishan, we love you. Hopefully your brother has been having a good time moving on Portugal. All right, Jess. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see you here. Hello, Joyful One. Good to see you. Anya, LaDon, everyone, Pisces Prep. We see you all in the comments and we love it. I'm going to go ahead and get started, right? So let's go back to the comments and hide that one. Y'all know, put a Q in front. Good to see you guys. Nikki, gang stalking simulation. Hey, good to see you back. Good to see you back. All right, you could have been watching the replays for all I know, or watching the lives and not commenting. But if I say good to see you back, it's not, I ain't trying to throw shade. It's because I realize when you're here and I realize when you're not here. So the folks who are loyal, like gang stalking simulation and some other folks that we see all the time, when they disappear for a little while, we notice. And so good to see you back. Signs that the U.S. is failing.
So there's a book out. If you haven't read it,
yes,
read it. Get a copy of it. It's not expensive at all. Actually, I was looking at one place, it was like $5 or something like that. It's called On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder.
The information and the link is in the description below.
It's not a long read. It's a short read, but it is packed with information and stuff like that. It's called On Tyranny.
20 Lessons from the 20th Century.
I'm reading it again. I just got it from Denver Library yesterday.
Again.
So I'm going to read it again.
Yeah. So, and we have the hard copy, but I think it's still in the United States. It will get here eventually. All right. So the signs, take your notebooks out. The signs that the U.S. is failing. This is based upon what we have seen in the past. The only thing that is different is that social media has made it easier for propaganda to spread, right? And misinformation, right? So the number one sign that we know that the U.S. is failing is that folks in the United States have been obedient in advance. What do we mean by that? Anticipatory and obedience means adapting instinctively without reflecting to a new situation, adapting obediently. For instance, when the people got into our chat when we were in Cape Town talking about the rolling blackouts, what are you talking about? That's not bad. Yeah, there's an app for that.
Like, or getting on the elevator and it's shaking, and they say, "Oh, you get used to it." No, you're not supposed to get used to that kind of stuff.
No. Black folks' defense of the USA is obedience in advance, right? Obedience in advance. In other words, you anticipate what the powers to be are going to ask and you submit before they even ask you to do it. The Nazis saw this happening back in the day, and I am going to compare anybody who's Jewish who is in the chat. I am not comparing. What I'm not comparing is despair. That's not what I'm comparing. What I am comparing is the system, the thought process, and the leaders and what it looks like compared to what we see in the United States today. And I venture to say that Black Americans have suffered as much as anyone else on this planet. But this is not about the suffering necessarily. This is about getting out. This is about being smart. So Blacks' defense of the USA, right? Mm-hmm. And the South Africans' defense of the rolling blackouts. That's like obedience in advance. Why are you not fighting this? Why are you just giving in and saying, well, this is just the way it is, and then finding some workarounds? Because you want to start how you want to end up. Just like in relationships, you want to start how you want to end up. If you want to end up going for the okie doke, keep doing that. Number 2.
Can we defend institutions?
We need to defend the institutions of the United States, but we do not need to do this in person. Right? We do not need to do this in person. We can do this by donating to the nonprofits and organizations that are going to defend the institutions.
And the most important thing is by voting. Vote. Your vote counts.
Do what you need to do to get that ballot in. Thankfully, we have residency in Colorado, and Colorado is a very progressive state, probably one of the most progressive states in all of the United States, believe it or not. And so we get to vote by email. All right. We verify our little signature. They send us a text and saying your ballot is accepted and counted, right? We're on group. But listen to this. The following editorial appeared in a 1933 leading German Jewish newspaper. And I'm going to read it because I do not want to misquote it. It's 1933. Y'all know what was happening. We do not subscribe. This is what the newspaper wrote. It was an editorial. We do not subscribe to the view that Mr. Hitler and his friends, now finally in possession of the power that they have so long desired. That means it started before 1933. Have so long desired. Will implement the proposals circular. We do not subscribe to the view that they're going to implement the proposals that have been circulating in the Nazi newspapers, is what it reads. They will not suddenly deprive German Jews of their constitutional rights. They cannot do this because a number of crucial factors hold powers in check.
Until they don't.
How did that work out for them? For all of you who think that this next election is business as usual,
it's not.
You might want to read what the Jewish newspapers were saying. Checks and balances, powers to hold them in check. Like what? The Supreme Court of the United States? That check and balance? Where's we have the checks and balances are the media. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
The only industry that is mentioned in the Constitution of the United States, and it is failing. It is one of the pillars of democracy, and that is the media. Right? The government shall never, ever have control over the media. And yet, so B.
We are the checks and balances.
Who?
We are the checks and balances.
Who?
We support the institutions that are a part of the system of checks and balances until they no longer do. See SCOTUS.
Supreme Court of the United States. That's what SCOTUS stands for. By 1933, Germany had become a one-party country. And many Jews, thinking that they would be shown some grace, voted for the Nazis as a sign of loyalty. All you Black people trying to vote for Trump. How did that work out for the Jewish folks? How did that work out? How is that working out for us? I'm not saying Biden is all that. I'm not.
No.
I'm telling you to get out. Vote and get out. Get out. So be aware of the one-party state. Point number 3, that the U.S. is failing. The one-party state. And we complain about only having 2 parties, right? 2 political parties. And the fact is, now we really only have 1 political party and a cult. That's what we have.
Yeah, that's what you're facing.
Right?
That's what you're facing.
Right? Yeah. And history shows what?
History shows us that countries, democracies have collapsed when a single party seizes nearly all control.
History shows us that when a country only has 1 party, democracy is on its way out. Democracy is on its way out. So will this be the last real, true, and fair election that we see?
You have to really ask yourself that question for real.
For real.
For real.
Because in 1932, when those folks lined up to vote for Hitler, did they know that that was the last real, fair, and true election that they would see in their lifetime? In 1990, when they voted in Putin, did they know that that was the last true and fair election that they would see in their lifetime? Think about it. Think about it.
I don't want to think about it more. But
you got to think about it.
It's true.
When the Supreme Court says that money equals free speech, we're in trouble. And they've already said it. And they've passed the laws. And so money equals free speech. That means he who has the most money has the biggest voice. How is that democratic? No.
It's not.
All right. So we're going to go over the first three. We have been obedient in advance. They haven't even had to do anything to keep us compliant with their nonsense. Oh yeah, we march in the street and we do this and that, and then we go back to compliance. It is not up to us to fix this thing. I'm sorry. We didn't break it, and it is not up to us to fix it. The people who broke it need to fix it.
Yes.
The people who have power need to fix it. Not us. Not us. We have paid the price. We have paid enough. We have suffered enough. We have built enough and created enough. The empire that is pop culture, that Los Angeles runs on, is our talent. We've done enough. And it's time to stop. What are y'all talking about? Or are we so much that y'all ain't like, you just listening?
Give us your thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah. What do you think? Because what we see, if we look at history, the signs that we see today are that the United States is on its way down and out. Every single empire crumbles. Every single empire throughout history has come to an end. I believe because the notion of being an empire means that you are subjugating folks. And anytime you subjugate folks, eventually they're going to fight back.
Right.
Eventually. Right? But it's not sustainable. People do not want to support something that is killing them indefinitely. They'll support it for a while, but not indefinitely. America is an empire and it's falling. And the question is, do you want to fall with it or not? Now, if the election goes a different way in 2024, it'll last longer. But it's still falling. Unless it does a 180. There's hope. There's hope, but there's not hope in the near future. There is not hope in the near future. All right, let's see what y'all are talking about. My friends at Kemet New call this environmental racism, right? How do you like that term? That's exactly what it is. When the majority of places that have water that is non-drinkable, when the majority of kids have asthma are Black kids because they live in environments that are polluted. That is environmental racism, and there's studies being done right now talking about that, and the affordability of clean water, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. It's psychological and physical systemic oppression. They've been psyching us gradually to accept this for years. Yes, 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 yes. It is the frog in the pot.
Yeah. And the heat's turning up and it's starting to boil.
It's starting to boil. It's hot. And we've gotten used to it and accepted as status quo. We've accepted the fact that in 2024, nearly 5,000 people have died from gun violence just since January 1st, 2024. We think that's normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. It is not normal for everyone that you see who may be acting weird, putting their hand in their pocket or doing something that you think they're suspect. Are they pulling out a gun? What are they doing? You're always on edge. You will have PTSD for life living that way.
Yeah.
It's not normal. And we're not going to sit here and pretend that it is, because we are sick and tired of pretending. We're not doing it anymore. We're not doing it anymore. We are the checks and balances, and besides our votes, it's our money. Yes. As my shepherded Jew friends definitely know it, right? They are also aware of unifying. I hope so, Mary. I hope so, because sometimes they're not on board with us, right? Sometimes they're not on board. So I hope that they're on board and they realize and they see that what is happening in the GOP is akin to tyranny. What is happening to Black Americans is tyranny and terrorism, right? Because if you live in constant fear, that's what terrorists try to do. It's psychological. And everyone that we have talked to in a client call has talked about their fear. Hey, Debbie Baker.
Hey.
You're new here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to Our Black Utopia family. All of the resources that you need to live the life of your dreams is in the description below. Seriously. Hey, K. Renee. Yes, people better wake up
and believe what he's saying.
People tell you who they are.
Yeah. He's telling you who he is.
People tell you who they are. Believe them when they say it. He said what he was going to do in 2016, and he did the thing. He did everything he said he was going to do. Oh, no, you're not doing that stuff. There's checks and balances. Checks and balances.
But it's the cultists out there.
How can you check and balance when someone says, do you think, because I watch the little clips of Jordan Klepper and everything else, right? Like, do you think that a felon should be able to run for president?
I think, no, they shouldn't. But for him, it's okay because he was chosen by God. He's on a mission from God.
Oh, is he up for a felony? Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's fake news. Fake news. What, like, you cannot reason with people. We're going to talk about that too. So I'm not going to even get into that because we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that too. Have the book and saw its facts unfold in real life, she ain't saying, right? I got the book back in 2020. Plan to reread it out loud during this political season to my peeps left behind. Yes, yes, yes. It is a very thin book by Tim Snyder. He has an updated version with some 21st century things in it. Although, because it was written after Trump, all of that kind of stuff is in the first version. Mm-hmm. But our library has the updated version and updated audiobook. So I've got it on hold. And as soon as it becomes available, I'm going to listen to that too. It's a quick, easy read, and it's eye-opening. It is eye-opening. Marcia Smith, very well. Whenever we accept the abnormal as the new normal, we put ourselves in mortal jeopardy. Yeah. I remember every single time Trump did something crazy, the media made excuses for him.
Oh, yeah.
They made excuses. First, they were saying, yeah. Isn't this funny? This is so funny. He ain't going to get nowhere. Oh, he just won something. Yeah. But he ain't gonna win the end. The end result, he ain't gonna win that. Well, he's the nominee.
What's really, really, really bad is all those people that claimed it. We're going to be the adults in the room, so that's why we're here doing what we're doing. So the Bill Barrs and everybody else, we're going to be the adults in the room and make sure that he doesn't go over edge. And guess what?
How'd that work out?
He rolled right over him and did what he was going to do.
How'd that work out? And all of his followers are saying, yeah, but those are turncoats. Those are turncoats. But no, they're turncoats. See, when you change reality to fit your opinion, And when the media allows that to happen, thank you, World Explorer.
Thank you, World Explorer. Is that? It is. That's Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Y'all
Not
scaring
trying,
me.
Not trying to scare you. Just, give yourself options.
I need to get off this planet. It's not the planet. It is not the planet. Every place is not necessarily going crazy, right? But we are in a turning point. It has been 100 years since the beginning of the rift that started World War II. Things go in cycles, y'all. Things go in cycles, okay? And so it is up to us to have choices and to be agile. All of this political stuff and all of these power structures have absolutely nothing to do with us in that we ain't making money off of this. Last time I checked, I don't have any defense contracts or anything like that, right? Like, I'm not making money off of this, so I have no allegiance. I'm sorry. The United States is my home country. It's the place that I was born. And there are great things about America, but I have never felt truly American. Why? Because the powers to be told me that I was never a true American. The powers to be told me that my right to vote will be up for option every 25 years, right? The powers that be told me that any complaint that I have that is based upon the color of my skin is non sequitur. It's like, no, we don't believe it. They're just going to make excuses for it, right? So the right to vote, the right to have equal pay, the right to health care the same way other people have health care, and the fact that there are no retributions, the fact that they can kill us indiscriminately told me that when they're talking about real Americans, they're not talking about me. They're not talking about me.
Yeah.
I don't care who's in the White House, and I don't care who's in the vice presidency. They're not talking about me. And if Kamala Harris did not have the entourage and was walking around in her sweatpants and her baseball cap like she used to do back in the day, she'd be suspect too. Anyway, thank you, World Explorer. All our super chat, super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund. This is your way to get out, y'all. Our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling Financial Independence course. The information is below. All right. The information is below. And so we are in the midst of updating it. If you don't want to pay the higher price for the updated version, you better buy it now. Buy it now and you'll have access. All right. Hey, Marcia. Very well. Wherever. Okay. We just saw that one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then Beverly says, thank you, Beverly. Love you back. Love you back. Some Black folks have their heads in the sand, some in denial, some pretending not to know, trying to get away, trying to get favor with the enemy. You know, it is amazing to me when I see educated Black folks talking about, well, I just don't know what to believe. You know, what's a fact and what's not? I just don't know. What do you mean you don't know what to believe? Dr. So-and-so, Miss PhD, Mr. PhD, stop it. Stop it. Stop telling me that you don't know what to believe, like you don't know the difference between real news and news that is propaganda, news that is opinions.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just stop it. Unless you want to die, because they're going to kill you. That's the point. That is the point. And that's what we've said. We know. Because if they didn't want to kill us, they'd change this stuff. Doggone it. Thank you, Ronick. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having this much needed conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super sticker or super chat. Again, all of that goes to our scholarship fund. And let's see where we left off at 44. So I just have to make sure that I don't miss any, y'all. If you put a Q in front of it and I miss it, hey, Melanie, if you put a Q in front of it and I miss it, please put it in the chat again, copy, paste, whatever, and put it in the chat again. It's not on purpose. It's just that I missed it.
Yeah, they're in the Galapagos. Melanie,
it's a hard life.
He said the heat was no joke.
Oh, really? Yeah. In the Galapagos Islands.
Try to stay cool.
Yeah, turn that AC on. Okay, so the signs that America is failing. because we've been obedient in advance, because we're not defending our institutions. We're not defending the institutions that are supposed to be the checks and balances. We have not put pressure on Biden to add seats to that Supreme Court. We should have done that in the first 2 years when we still had the House. Didn't we have the House when he first got elected? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We had the House and the Senate. Obama passed Obamacare. I don't know what Biden did, but I know what he didn't do. What he didn't do was change the makeup of the Supreme Court. And he should have put term limits on it too. You put term limits on it and you do other stuff. It's a lifetime is supposed to mean that it's non-political. I don't have to worry about a political appointment because I've got this bid for life. That means I can follow the letter of the law, and that was the purpose of a lifetime appointment. How come it ain't working? It ain't working. It ain't working. All right. So are we defending the institutions? No, we are not. Be aware of the one-party state. We are already at the one-party state. We have one party and a cult. That's what we have. Number 4.
Do not get used to signs of hate.
Call them out.
Call them out.
Even the minor things. When you see swastikas or this or that or the other, if there's a neighborhood thing that goes around painting that stuff over, do what you need to do anytime you see those small signs. It's just, okay, I hate to use this example because it doesn't necessarily apply to here in Portugal. But in New York, they used to say, it was called the broken windows laws or something like that, right? So any broken window, any sign of graffiti or anything like that, in the minds of politicians, gave bad actors the idea that no one cares about this neighborhood, and so I can run roughshod. Look, the graffiti is here. That's not true in Portugal, of course. The graffiti is here. Look at that house, that abandoned house with the broken window, right? Like, nobody cares about this neighborhood, so let me clean up. Let me clean up. These are the things that we have gotten used to, right? And so the same thing, if those small things, oh, it's just a sign, it's just a swastika. Oh, it's just some anti this or that sign or this or that. That's not hurting it. Yes, that's, if we allow that, that tells bad actors, oh, if they're not going to pay attention to this, maybe they won't pay attention to that. And then maybe I can get away with this and I can get away with that.
But you can't put no swastikas in no black neighborhood without them.
No, but you can put other things. You can put other things, right? Right? You can put a lot of inward stuff and everything else to bring down the psyche of the folks in that neighborhood. And we cannot let those minor things go unchecked because the minor things lead to major things. The minor things let bad actors know that either no one's paying attention or no one cares, and it's time to reap the benefits. All right? The signs of hate have been propaganding around America for all of this century, right? It started back in the 70s and 80s in our lifetime. Again, after the civil rights, right? When they started talking about the welfare queen and the this and the that, and everything was our fault. Everything was our fault. And it still is, right? And we've been letting them get away with it. Sarah Palin came out. That wasn't a dog whistle. We were talking about, did she sing dog? She wasn't singing dog whistles. She was saying there are real Americans, and then there are those other folks. And anyone who was not voting for her and John McCain was those other folks. We are not real Americans. She said it, and people voted for her to be the vice president of the United States of America. It only got worse from there. Once we accepted that, Trump he was a shoo-in. He was a shoo-in because we did not, when it was small, when it did not seem that threatening.
Didn't nip it in the bud right there.
We didn't nip it in the bud. So you start, when you see the signs, when it's only small, you nip it in the bud. But America's not doing that. It didn't nip it in the bud. It gave it water.
Because it's like, we can control that. We'll control that down the road, and it never happened. And then when John McCain did try to take control, he was losing the election by then, but it was too late.
It was too late.
The cat was.
It was too late. And if we had not had Obama, they probably would have won. Had Hillary won that primary, they probably would have won. Him and Sarah might have won because people don't like Hillary. I'm sorry, Hillary. People don't like you. They don't like you. So So, number 4, do not get used to the signs of hate. Number 5,
Professional ethics are in the toilet.
Supreme Court. All right. The fact that they are making states put that man on the ballot, they are putting on the states' rights. When it comes to denying rights, taking away our rights, taking away women's rights, then all of a sudden it's states' rights, states' rights, states' rights. But when it comes to making sure that everyone has the right to do A, B, or C, then no. Then no state rights, right? I think that if Colorado, for instance, believes that a felon should not be, or a accused felon should not be on the ballot for the United States of American presidency, that they should have the right.
In that state.
Thank you.
The voters in that state should have that right to be able to say, no, we don't want a felon.
Our AG made the case. The Supreme Court of Colorado said yes. And then the Supreme Court of the United States said, oh, no. No, because see, he appointed us. But it was unanimous.
It was unanimous, which I don't understand, but I'm not a lawyer. But it was a stupid decision.
Professional ethics. The people who made the way to take over Germany, to take over the Netherlands, to take over Hungary, to take over Poland, and all of those folks, all of those countries that got taken over back during World War II, the people who did it were attorneys. Who did Trump have surrounding him? Who was he appointing everywhere? Attorneys. Attorneys with no moral compass, appointing them to lifetime appointments to judicial benches all around the country. And then when a couple of those same people turned around and said, no, you're guilty, then his followers said, what? Turncoats. Turncoats or fake news. Fake news.
That's all I can say.
All right.
Fake news,
so when professional ethics go in the toilet, when you cannot even trust that people will do what they took an oath to do, democracy is in trouble. That's number 5. Number 6.
I have number 6.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I switched my papers around. Be alarmed when you see paramilitaries. All those groups.
I think they started in 2016 when they were marching in North Carolina with the stupid little tiki torches.
Oh, they've been around a long time.
Of course.
Way.
But became bold, right? Got bold after Trump got elected, marching with the tiki torches, talking about Jews will not replace us and all this other nonsense, right? These paramilitary groups have been around since the beginning of the United States, but I tell you, they have gotten bold this century. And they have especially gotten bold since 45 was in office.
Yeah, because they had the government behind them.
This is what they do. Historically, the formation and the funding of paramilitary organizations is the precursor to the fall of democracy. The formation and funding of paramilitary groups is the precursor to the fall of democracy. Historically, I don't think that this time is going to be any different. There is a reason why the FBI and the CIA are tracking these groups, and they have said that there has been an exponential increase in the number of these groups. And of course, America says, here, have more guns. Oh, and have the guns that our military use so that you can use them against our military. Number 7. Language is used as a weapon. When Hitler said, the people,
he didn't mean all the people. He meant some of the people.
Right? When Trump and Sarah Palin were talking about real Americans, we just talked about this. When they were talking about real Americans, we know what they were talking about. We have to be careful with our language. And we see that in the United States, we have taken things for granted and we have used language irresponsibly, and the media has gone along with it. right?
Mm-hmm.
And then reinforced it. They reinforce it. They reinforce it when they say things like tax relief. Taxes are not bad. Taxes are not good. They're just what they are. In order to support the commons, everybody's got to put a little bit into the pool so that we can have libraries, so that we can have cops, so that we can have firefighters, right? So that we can have schools. That's what taxes are for. They're neither bad nor good. They just are. But once you say tax relief, the relief means that taxes are bad.
Yeah.
And we have gone along with that. The media has gone along with that. The media has gone along with calling Social Security what do they call a handout? There's another word that they use that means a handout, right? Entitlement.
Entitlements. Yes.
Entitlements. Now, if I looked up the word entitled, it could mean that someone is deserving of something because of something that they've done in the past. But in America, it usually means something negative, that you believe that you deserve something that you do not deserve, that you have not done anything
You have no right
to earn.
Right. Right.
Social Security, Medicare, and I dare say aids to family with dependent children and food stamps are not entitlements. Every single person has paid taxes, and those taxes pay for that stuff. It is an earned benefit, and especially Medicare and Social Security, earned benefit. But the media and even MSNBC, I've heard them say it. Well, what are you going to do about the entitlements and the huge, the this and the that, and the fact that blah, blah, blah? Look, the fact that they do not tax people making over like $175,000 on Social Security tells us everything that we need to know. They have no desire to make sure that the Social Security endowment fund or whatever it's called, the fund is secure. They don't. They don't. Because if they did, they would make sure that any earned income is taxed. Any earned income is taxed. There's no reason why someone who makes $250,000 should not pay taxes on that other $100,000 to Social Security and Medicare. And yet we allow it to happen. Why? Because money is speech. And those who have the money have the biggest voices. And they said, F you and F those poor people. America is in peril, y'all. America is in peril. Number 8.
An abandonment of truth and facts.
I just don't know what facts are. Really?
Fake news.
Really? We know that there's been a deliberate dumbing down of America. We know that. We know that, right? There is such a lack of critical thinking. And when I see Black people who are, I'm not going to say educated. What I'm going to say is exposed, right? Like you are exposed to a lot of different experiences. So because some of us stay in our little cocoon, in our little zip code, we never leave. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. But I'm talking about not ignorant, but non-ignorant Black folks are talking about they don't know what is a fact. I want to just slap them and say, shut up. Get out of my face.
I just don't know anymore. I don't get it.
If you want to go for the okie doke and go down with the ship, go on down. But don't miss me with that nonsense. Miss me with that. When facts do not exist, no one can challenge power. When facts don't exist, how do you challenge power? Under what context? What are you basing it on? How can you criticize power if nothing is fact? How can you criticize power if facts do not exist? America is on a downward spiral. The question is, do you want to go down with it or not? Because when one submits to tyranny, when they refuse to differentiate between facts and fiction, or what they want to hear, hope is lost.
Yeah.
Hope is lost. Number 9.
Investigation does not exist.
I often say contempt prior to investigation is stupid. Contempt prior to investigation is stupid. And that's usually racist white folks, right? Contempt prior to they don't know us and they don't like us, but they don't know why they don't like us because they don't know us. So they just make up some crap, right? But the media has really abandoned investigative reporting. They've abandoned investigative reporting and have normalized Trump. I was listening to Whoopi Goldberg said, she's so sick and tired of the fact that the media has normalized him. That man's not normal. He's not a normal presidential candidate. And yet there's a good chance he has got a 50-50 chance of winning in November.
That should scare the hell out of everybody.
It should. It should. But if you've gotten to the point where you are that frog in the boiling pot and you don't even realize that stuff's about to go down, like the majority of people, Black people in America they think this is business as usual. It is not. I just texted my son. I'm like, baby, what do I need to do to make sure you have a passport that is not expired? What do I need to do? Because I'm not coming there to rescue you if you act stupid. Like, there's nothing I can do if you ain't got no passport, right? Right. So the media has allowed bad actors to influence voters by unchecked social media propaganda. There's some books that I read, y'all, and I can't think of the names right now. If I think of them, I will put them in the description below. If you're watching from the future, hey, we're on fire today because we have gotten too many calls from y'all that are so fear-based. But they're not fear-based based upon reality. They're fear-based based upon some other stuff. And it's like the cartels in Mexico. Baby, you've got the Nazis at your front door and you're talking about the cartels in Mexico? Really? Really? When you guys have heard of some of the things that Facebook and other bad actors have allowed to happen in the past, it is still happening. And the United States allowed this. And all of those congressional hearings and all of this and that still did not change the fact.
Didn't change a thing.
It did not change the fact that Cambridge Analytics and all of those bad actors, including the people who worked with Trump and everything else, systematically put out propaganda in countries to overthrow governments. They started small with governments that none of us are paying attention to, on their way to working up to the United States. These are facts. This is why Facebook dude had to go in front of Congress all those times. You wondered why? This is why. Not because our information is being sold to marketing companies. Like, if that's all that was being done, if you're just going to, brainwash me into buying another Gucci bag. No. They had actual campaigns with people of color in them, basically telling young people not to vote, and that is your sign of protest. Watch the language. Take care of the language. Your sign of protest is to not vote. And so they got tons of young people in these countries not to vote and put their governments in. This is what they are doing. And we have allowed it when we allowed the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, basically got the teeth taken out of them, got rid of the fairness doctrine. That's it. They got rid of the fairness doctrine where media had to do certain things. One, the media had to be separate from the commercial side of the media company so that they would not be influenced by the money. That's number one. Number two, facts matter. Number three, if you give Trump 5 minutes of time, you give Biden 5 minutes of time. If you give this candidate 5 minutes of time, you give that candidate 5 minutes of time. That was the fairness doctrine, and they got rid of it. And it's never been, see how little by little they're taking away all of those checks and balances that were supposed to keep power in check. And we allowed it to happen. We allowed it to happen. The other thing that we didn't mention, but I'm gonna go to the end. We'll go to the end, and then I'll mention the Patriot Act. So number 10. So number 9, investigative reporting
Investigation does not exist.
don't exist. Number 10.
Tyranny invades personal lives.
Everything that we do online is monitored, and it is monitored in the United States because we allowed the Patriot Act to extend beyond the Gulf, not the Gulf War, but the war in Iraq, which we shouldn't have been fighting in the first doggone place, right? So because of 9/11, the government is now allowed to monitor our comings and goings online, regardless of whether all they have to say is, oh, listen to how Lacey on that YouTube channel. She sounds like a terrorist. Let's monitor her. And then those tyrannical governments use that information to take you down. That's what's happened in the past, and that is what is happening now, because we did not protect our institutions. We did not protect our Constitution. We've been that frog in the boiling pot. The Patriot Act is still alive and well, and they are monitoring.
Yeah.
And they are monitoring. And I'm going to tell you that when they invade your personal life, they see the Patriot Act, and then number 1, right? And the Patriot Act just shows us obedience in advance. Well, I ain't got nothing to hide. I don't care because I ain't got nothing to hide. Every conversation that you have with your family members when you're complaining about something that is institutional could be something to hide from certain governments. But we allowed it, talking about, I ain't no criminal. They can watch me if they want to. Really? Really? Number 11.
Dangerous words.
So this is all from Timothy's book. I have paraphrased this because he puts it in a vein of fighting for democracy. That's not our fight. That's white folk fight. White folk country, white folk fight. They broke it, they fix it. Our thing is to get out, to survive, and to thrive. That's all I care about. Black folks thriving, surviving. They can fix that. So when I looked at dangerous words, I started thinking about the movies that we see when there's some spy, right? And then there's some like ABC organization that's working behind the scenes, behind the scenes that the FBI don't know about, the CIA don't know about, but this man in the presidency knows about. And if they capture you, you've got to watch out because they'll say words like, "You're safe now," right? "Don't worry. We will take you to an undisclosed location," right? We've seen those movies. Yeah. And you think when people say you're safe now,
we're the secret group,
right? That everything's okay. But really, there are words that we have to look out for. When they start talking about extremism, when they start talking about terrorism, right? When they start using like, emergency exceptions, these are the precursors to taking away your rights to freedom. This is the preemptive strike to a military takeover, right? They're going to break it. They're going to let chaos reign. Then they're going to say, "See, it's broken. Told you. Get these people out. This stuff is broken. We got to come in with guns blazing because, these people are going to get out of control." And we let it happen. Y'all, be careful. When you start hearing these words over and over and over, it's a setup to bring the military in. And the Constitution says that the United States military cannot act against its own citizens. And yet, Trump put the military in the Northwest when we were having all of those demonstrations.
In the Northwest, he had the military.
Okay, and other places too, when we were having demonstrations. He broke the Constitution and no one said boo. We let it happen.
They weren't in military. They couldn't wear their patches.
Oh.
Showing that they were military.
So let me get this straight. My tax dollars are paying people to kill me? Miss me. So what's keeping you in the US? We want to hear from you. What is keeping you in the United States? We want to hear, if you're watching from the future, we want to hear in the comments below. If you are watching with us live, like 350 of you are, hopefully we've got 350 likes. What is keeping you in the United States?
Talk to us.
Oh, we said your name correctly. Good. Aisha. Okay. Talk to us. Let us know. Let us know. I'm going to go through and start starring some of these. I have to say that there's something brewing in the USA. Biden putting migrants and giving them benefits over American citizens and veterans is alarming. The American taxpayers' money given to migrants, Ukraine and Israel. Let's not get distracted. Okay? Because less than 2% of the US budget goes to foreign aid. Now, even my son has said that there have been a lot of migrants in Colorado from Venezuela. America is a country of immigrants besides the indigenous people. So it's easy to get distracted with nonsense and things that really are not going to have as much effect on our well-being as we think, but it's a straw man. If they're paying attention to that over there, then they won't pay attention to the fact that all of those statistics that we said, right? That Americans are still dying at a higher rate, that we still are being killed by the police, that our mental health is decreasing exponentially. They're not dealing with that because we're too busy arguing about the migrants that are coming. We love you, Anya, but it's a straw man. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. Yes, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Get out. Get out. And Chris, get ready for folks saying Colombia, but the cartels. Yes, they exist. But we also know plenty of folks who are having great lives in Colombia for less money, and they are not the target.
Yeah.
Right? In America, we have a target on our back, and as soon as you're born with brown skin, you are born suspect. You are born a suspect. They suspect you of something. Did you steal? Are you lazy? Right? Etc. What's the deal? All right, let's stop there. Let's go back and see where we are. Okay, we did that one. We did that one. We did that one. Maisha.
Yeah. You read that one, didn't you?
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. Timbo,
thank you.
Thank you. Like we said, all super chat, super thanks money, super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial education course, which is being updated this month. I've already done the first 3 modules and I'm working on the last 4. So when I get it done and everything, today's price is not tomorrow's price. She ain't saying have the book. Oh, it's back. Okay, yeah, we saw that one. It is a former CIA non-Black agent who said he is getting his family out before 2030. He was just on a Diary of CEO. Everyone needs to watch that episode.
Wow.
Ronick, I'd be interested to know the why. Why is he leaving? That's what I would be interested to know. Like, I mean, I know why he would leave, but I'd love to hear what he said. So if you could tell us that in the chat, that would be great. Hello, folks, new here. Hey, Dovey Baker, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Our Black Utopia family. We're glad that you are here. We are the checks and balances, right? Besides our votes, it's our money. I know we read that one. I think we've read this one too, but I'm going to put it up again. For those of you who have read the Lynch letter, I know that there is probably not true, like the veracity of it. However, what is being said in the Lynch letter is true. And you can keep a people enslaved by keep them enslaved here, and you don't need to do
Yeah, you
anything
don't need
else.
to do anything.
You don't need to do anything else, right? All right. And so Urban Inger, I'm not sure if I said that right. Watch PBS documentary, The Dictator's Playbook. Okay. All right. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description below. But if I don't, y'all Google it, The Dictator's Playbook, because I can't guarantee you that I will remember. It's a former CIA agent. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I want to know. I want to know. I can't find, I don't know where I put that water. Would encourage anyone planning to move to see themselves as a bridge for family and friends. Right, Daniel? My humble opinion, it's important for someone to have the foresight to establish a base in another country. And that's what we see when folks come to the United States. We wonder why there are like chunks of people, like Colorado several years ago. I don't know if it's true today. We had the largest amount of Ethiopian immigrants, the second largest amount of Ethiopian immigrants in the world, like the most outside of Ethiopia, of course, but they're not immigrants. They live there. Minneapolis was number one. No surprise there when we see who they've elected, right? Minneapolis was number one. Colorado was number two, right? Because someone led the way. And then they started building community. And then more came and more came and more came, right? Someone led the way. So we are the Harriets of our family. Hopefully, we're leading the way. You need to be the Harriet Tubman of your family and community. You need to be the Harriet Tubman of your family and community. Because, yeah, somebody's got to lay the foundation. All right, if the empire falls, and I'm with you that it's inevitable, that also means our stocks. Yeah, how the best hedge against this, all y'all moving money to other countries. So Tammy, we'll do an episode on that. It's probably going to be a Thursday short, because we are thinking about this. What is going to happen? Like it to me, if Trump gets reelected, it's not going to happen the next day. It's going to happen in the next 4, 5, 6 years, right? And it'll definitely happen if he does not allow another fair election, if he doesn't just step down. Well, he doesn't have to step down. He can do 2 terms. So, depending upon how that goes, we will make some choices. But I'm wondering if, like the Warren Buffetts of the world and things like that, if they will really, I'm going to watch what they do. I'm going to watch what they do. Most of the stock that we are invested in, and that you probably are invested in if you have like a stock market index fund or something like that, are global companies. They're not US companies, they're global companies, right? And so from that standpoint, I don't think we have to worry as much as we would have 100 years ago when our economies were not as interconnected. I mean, we were interconnected 100 years ago, which is why the Great Depression had that World War II effect, right? But we are so much more interconnected today than we were then.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Warren Buffetts and the Tim Cooks and
of the world do. And we will be watching. We've already started talking about this. We've already started talking about our properties and what will we do with them. I don't want to wait until it's too late and then we can't get even our money back, right? I'm leaving, but hate to leave my oldest parents and grandchildren behind. How do you encourage? My parents are in the United States too. And that was their choice. And I have to respect that. And if the fit hits the sham, I don't know. I don't know. I know one thing. I'm putting on my mask first. That's what I know. We have begged our kids to get their passports either renewed or get a passport for those who don't even have one. And they just refuse. So what do you do?
I'm tired of talking.
What do you do?
Yeah, they don't. If they did, it's on them. I can't.
So most of you know Christina and Aman of Our Rich Journey. If Amon has family members who are not watching his YouTube channel with what they've been able to do, right? Then you know our family's like, whatever. Oh, yeah, I see your little YouTube channel. That's cute. But look, I got to get to this job because, I'm trying to get, and we trying to, and this.
We need to buy stuff.
I don't know. I don't know, Barbara. But what I do know is that if you leave, that may encourage them to consider it. That's what I do know. I don't believe in sacrificing myself for someone else who is able-bodied and able-minded. I don't, and I won't, even if they are the fruit of my loins. No, that's your choice. He's grown, because if he wasn't grown, he'd be here. And he wouldn't have had a choice because I'm the adult in the family and you're going to come. And if you want to go back at 18, go back. But if you're under 18, this is not a democracy. Like our family was not a democracy. It was an autocracy. This was the autocracy. And anybody underneath that had to do what we said do, period. So I don't believe like everybody got a vote. No, because kids don't know what's best for them. Because if they did, they'd be adults and pay their bills. Do you watch The Daily Show? Used to when Trevor was on it.
Yeah.
When Trevor was on it, I watched it religiously, but after him, I'm not interested. So I do watch the clips that they put on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The stuff their reporters find out about Trump and his followers is crazy, right? Isn't it about Jordan Klepper and things, the hate comes out of his mouth and what he wants to do for, right? I love. And The Daily Show has done this even back in the day when Jon Stewart was in charge. And it was hilarious to me that he would send in his reporters, right, to check out so-and-so city council race. And they thought they were meeting with, some big time reporters, and they're asking them questions and making them look so, well, they're not making them look stupid. They're looking stupid on their own.
They're asking the question.
You're asking the question and and knowing that you don't know what you're talking about. And they're just, answering those questions and think, and then the guy looks at the camera. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? These are the people that we are electing, y'all. These are the people that we're electing. I will never forget in Texas. I will never forget this when they were trying to get rid of abortion. Now they don't have to worry about it, right? Because the Supreme Court did it for them. But at the time, it was before the Supreme Court went as crazy as it is today, because it's been crazy for a while. And an elected either state senator or state representative, I can't remember which office she had, got up there and said, you cannot get pregnant from rape because there are rape kits. These are the folks that we are electing. Y'all, we've got to pay attention to who we're voting for and stop thinking that they're all the same, because they're not. In general, Democrats are just as corrupt, but they're not stupid. They don't say stupid stuff like that and then pass laws that, well, you can't get pregnant from rape because there's rape kits, so let's pass law. Really? Really? Do you want? Okay, let me just say that. Every Black person in America has PTSD. Yes, we do. They just don't know it yet. When the sleeper has awakened, it may be too late. We realized when we moved to Lisbon, Portugal, that we had PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Right? When you hear a backfire from a car,
and you jump.
And then no, you listen to see if there's another, right? You listen to see if there's another and some screams, because we're from the United States. Screams and a couple more. Okay, gunfire, otherwise backfire, right? But just the fact that we even go there in our minds, right? I used to go to sleep every night to gunfire, like, okay, it's nighttime. The stars are out. I can see 2 or 3 because I live in LA. Oh, there's the moon, and oh, there's gunshots. Part of nighttime. I remember when they used to have searchlights, when they'd have grand openings and all of that, and they'd have those searchlights. I used to think that when I was a little kid, that was a part of nighttime. You know, you can now see the stars because it's dark, and the moon, and the searchlights, and the gunfire,
And the helicopter lights.
searching for the bad guys. The crazy Alabama senior scared the ish out of the white people in her GOP response to Biden's speech. Stepper White.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't see it.
I saw a part of it.
Did you? What was she talking about?
Nothing. She was a stepper one. It was so crazy. Saturday Night Live did a parody on her.
Did they even have to change any words? Because
No.
remember when they did the parody on Sarah Palin and they basically just said the same exact thing?
No, they didn't have to change anything. And I can't remember, Charlotte Johansson did the parody and did a great job.
Oh, did she? I like her. I like her acting. Okay. We are getting to your comments, y'all. We're getting to your comments and your questions.
Well, anybody that has paid attention to, he's lieutenant governor of North Carolina, and he's running for governor. Have any of y'all paid attention to Brother Man?
Black man. He was lieutenant governor. Now he's running for governor, talking about.
He's a serious Trumper.
Yeah. Talking about he wants to go back to the time before women could vote.
Give us your thoughts.
But I'm gonna put the context around it, because the follow-up to that was when the GOP actually fought for real things. Okay, good question. You need that remote job. That's what you need. You need to save as much money as you can right now. Cash. You need cash to get out. Okay. You need a bucket of it. All right. So everything that is not necessary, cut out. Just cut it out. Rick and I were saving 65% of our income because he said, we've got to leave before the next election. I'm like, all right, we're leaving now. We're leaving now. So for a year and a half, 2 years, we were saving 65% of our income to save up the cash to be able to get out. All right. Mm-hmm. You want to get a remote job, start looking for that remote job right now. You want to go to a place with a lower cost of living, if you are not at 5, where you can still save money and work less, because why not? Right. So one of the places that we always suggest is Querétaro, Mexico. It's small, it's inexpensive, it's nice, it's safe. And we have friends there. There's a community there. So if you're not watching Lamar and Angela, you should be watching Lamar and Angela. They're in Querétaro, living their best life there from the DMV area. You can live for $1,500 or less in Querétaro, Mexico. We've done 2 videos on where you can live for $1,500 or less. All right. So you get out now. You save the money, get out ASAP, and then when you get to where you're going at that lower cost of living, you should be able to save even more money.
You can invest. Yeah.
All right. That's right there. Knowing that we already did that one. Choices, Barbara. We have permanent residency in Mexico and temporary residency in Portugal. And if I find that it is necessary to get residency in a 3rd place, that's what we will do.
That's what we'll do.
This is they fight. I'm not interested. I'm not part of the power structure. They have told me that I am not part of their power structure. They have told me that they could not care less about me and people who look like me. And so I don't need to participate in their war games. And I'm not going to.
No.
I'm going to go to wherever I can find peace that they're not paying attention to. And now it's all online too. And we can work online and do our interactions online and do this and that.
Hey.
This is not Casablanca where we're trying to get out to you know, to the North Africa from France or wherever the heck they were. No, today is a whole different thing. You do not want to be that last person trying to get out when the warning signs are here. And Teddy, we love you. This is not all doom and gloom. This is not all doom and gloom. I don't believe that the United States has to experience the worst. It does not have to. The people who remain can change it if they so choose. In the meantime, in between time, as for me and mine, if World War IV comes, Barbara, there still will be safe places in the world because there will be places that the power structure does not care about.
World War IV? We skipped 3?
What?
You said if World War IV.
Oh, yeah. I guess I did. I skipped 3. I skipped 3. So World War III, yes. I've been slowly moving some money. Okay. But perhaps it's buying real estate abroad. Maybe. But you need to be careful about where, right? And so, you know, I want to do some more research on what BRICS are doing. I don't like Russia. I don't like China. I don't like Brazil. South Africa has my heart, but they're pissing me off. But I do want to pay attention to what they're doing because the shift is going to be to countries of color. We know that. The reign of Western Europe is coming to an end. Whether it comes to an end within our lifetime or not, we'll see. I don't know. I don't believe so, but we'll see. Things change more quickly sometimes than we think. But what we're going to do is we're going to pay attention to the people who know a little bit more than us and the people who have a lot more to lose. Let's watch what they're doing. Mary, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio is a quick video looking at the patterns of prior empires that fell. We are on the downward slope. I'm trying to tell people. There's another book called The Turning. And there's like The Turning, blah, 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 blah. I can't remember what the blah, blah, blah is. But basically, it is also written by historians that have gone back to the beginning of written word, probably Western written word, right? And looked at the cycles and the patterns. And it's called The Turning. That's something else. It's a good read. It's long, but it's a good read. So it's not all gloom.
It's not all gloom and doom.
It's only gloom and doom if you believe that you don't have choices. All right. And the whole point of Our Black Utopia, the whole point of this is to give you the tools to create choices, right? We're not going to get reparations from the federal government of the United States of America as much as we deserve it. So we need to take our reparations in whatever form that we can. And to me, that is, they cannot deny us for today access to the stock market, access to 401k systems and IRAs and all of that, right? They cannot stop us from investing in real estate. In most places, we can get around whatever discrimination is being had, right? They cannot make us not save money, right? We have to take control and create the reparations based upon the fact that we happen to be from a country that still has privilege today.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's not doom and gloom.
Sorry for the repeat at Black GOP Holocaust denier may become governor of North Carolina.
Yeah, that's what
Mark
I was talking
Robinson.
about. Mark Robinson.
And it's the 90th anniversary of Auschwitz. See?
Yeah.
Migrants to the U.S. have no clue. Migrants to the U.S. usually get some favor at first, especially if they're refugees, because it's hard to migrate to the United States. You only migrate if you're a refugee / not POW, but a refugee, or if the job sponsors you. There's no other way. There's no like D7 visa equivalent in the United States. There you go, Teddy. There's the opposite of doom and gloom,
Make you
right?
feel better.
But yeah, there's no like retirement visa or anything like that to the United States. And so when they bring migrants over, they need cheap labor. The United States needs cheap labor since they don't have free labor anymore. They need cheap labor, right? Which is why they move over doctors and lawyers and then say, oh, but your degree is no good here. Yeah, sorry. You'll have to drive that taxi. You'll have to drive that Uber, right? That's what they do. Don't get caught up in the straw man. Plus, there's a blackout on bricks updates via social media. Really? Really? We'll have to check in with Ashley. I know she's keeping up with it. What do you suggest if you're not fine? Okay, so we talked about that, Q. Okay, I just wanted to put that up so I remember where we were in checking for more comments. We are going to wrap it up. We're at an hour and a half, y'all. We love you, but I was tired. I was tired. I know that Jewish folks hate when we bring up Hitler in relationship to any other circumstance, but we have to if you want to look for the patterns, right? How does someone who is the embodiment of evil trick everyone into thinking that he's the second coming of Christ? How does that happen? How do you get Jewish people to say, oh, let's just vote for him? We'll vote for him and then he'll be nice to us. Really? Let's vote for Trump and he'll make us rich like he is. How did that work out for you?
Yeah.
How did that work out for you? Have you seen the fool? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's
we were just talking about him.
Bruh, man.
And he won the primary against the governor, or against his the governor.
So
the Republican governor.
So there's a Republican governor, and this man challenged him.
He challenged
Wait, his own attorney, not attorney general, but lieutenant governor challenged him.
Lieutenant governor challenged him and won the primary at 66%.
Based upon the fact that the governor wasn't doing what? Y'all. Yes. Here is another way that we are the frog in the boiling pot. And we've just gotten used to the fact that we call ourselves a democracy, but we're not a one person, one vote democracy. And we never have been. And we never have been because if we allowed that, then America would look a lot different, right? Y'all know that the Electoral College was created because there were so many Black folks in the South that could turn elections. So that's one reason. The other thing is, why does every state get 2 senators? Why does every state get 2 senators? And how can people in Montana have more voting power than the people in Colorado, than the people in California?
Less population.
How is that? Right? So the Electoral College means that we don't have one person, one vote. That's how someone cannot get the majority of the vote and still be elected. So you say majority rules, but that's a lie. That's a lie. America, you've been lying. You've been lying to us. You've been teaching us that the majority rules and that we live in a democracy when we don't. We live in what is called a representative democracy, and it's barely representative. And how could it be when you have the Electoral College? FBI statistics, Black Americans most race for victims of hate crimes. Yep, where is the anti-Black American hate crime bill? Democrats passed Biden-signed anti-Asian American Pacific Islander hate crime bill. Everyone gets a bill besides us. Everyone got reparations besides us. Because we are like everyone, every person of color that has been maligned and or discriminated against in America not this country, but in America,
No,
hasn't,
not, I mean,
has gotten reparations except for us. When we didn't do it. When the power structure locked up Japanese and Italian folks during World War II and putting them in American concentration camps. Oh, y'all didn't learn about that in history class? You didn't learn about that? Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. They got reparations. They got reparations. Everybody got reparations besides us. How are Black folks from the hood lured into voting against their interests and or not voting?
because they're not paying attention.
That's one of the reasons. But I think, and how did we voluntarily absent ourselves from the table, right? Like my parents died, like not my parents, but parents of my people of my parents' generation died. That's like just my parents, not my grandparents, not my great. My parents' generation died for us to have the right to vote, for Black Americans to have the right to vote. And y'all ain't voting. Y'all ain't voting. And for everyone who does not vote, basically what you're saying to all of your ancestors that built this thing, right, is F you for dying for my right to vote. I couldn't care less. There is nothing on this earth that I could care less about the fact that you died for my right, that I will just say, whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter who I vote for because it's all the same anyway. All the stupid reasons that people give. Meanwhile, we are dying and they're killing us and you are allowing it. That's what's happening. I read the book on tyranny, but I can't remember how fast he said fascism can be ushered in. I remember it's fast. Yeah, it was less than a decade. Less than a decade. This is what they do. And if you understand that, then you know it's not our fight. This is how we know it's not our fight. Because every single time we make an advancement, there's a backlash and we end up paying the price. For what? For what? Why are you still trying to fight the losing battle? The only way for it to win is if white folks say, enough, enough. We refuse to be the step and fetch. It's time to go. My wife and I served, and I'm also tired of this immoral political crap. Like, right? And that's another thing. The same folks who are so willing to put our boys and girls in harm's way are the same folks who are cutting taxes and taking those, that tax money away from the programs that help veterans. And so consequently, the highest homeless population are veterans. Oh, but we love our military. Support the troops. Support the troops. But don't support them once they get home. Don't have an abortion, but don't support that baby once it's born. See the hypocrisy? Y'all miss me. Miss me with that. When they reverse Roe v. Wade, isn't that a clue that the policies are going to repeat history by controlling us? Yes. Laws are supposed to ensure our rights. That's the point. That's the point of laws, to ensure that every single individual has the same rights. But there are some people in the government that believe laws are to take away rights.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about the right to have a gun so you can kill other people. I'm talking about the right to have agency over my own body. Things like that. Things that don't hurt him or her or him over there, right? This is my body, my thing, and you're making me. It's forced birth. It's forced birth in a country that allows too many Black women to die during childbirth, and now you're forcing. They're killing us, y'all. They're killing us, and we are allowing it. How high is the possibility of Trump winning again a reason for people wanting to move overseas? I left USA when Bush #2 was in office. I ain't mad at you. I wish we would have. I ain't know. Back then.
But Bush didn't put democracy.
Oh yeah, he
you
did.
know. No, I don't
It's
think he did.
he's not Trump. Okay. He's not Trump. Let's not say that. But he did usher in the Patriot Act, and he did lie and send our boys and girls to war for nothing.
Yeah.
That's the beginning. It happens in little things. If you ignore the little things, right? If you ignore the little things, that gives the power structure, we got away with this. Let's try this over here. Let's try that over there. And before you know it, it's chaos. So Bush too did usher in some of this stuff. He did. He ushered in the notion that mediocrity was a good thing. I was a C student, and look, I'm president. Yeah, let's see a black C student become president. Bush. Nah. Mm-mm. No, he's not as bad as Trump. And that's bad. That's bad because we used to talk about him like a dog. Like when he would come on TV, I couldn't even watch. He was so embarrassing. Yeah. And now he seems brilliant in comparison.
Yeah. I mean, I was
insane.
He wasn't trying to talk about being a dictator and all that crap.
He at least wanted to follow the law.
He wanted to follow the law.
Yeah. But he did usher in some stuff. I'm not letting him off the
Patriot Act.
Please tell the truth on this channel. Trump is not a convicted felon. I like your channel, but the political misinformation is concerning. I don't care. M. Watson. I said that he was accused of a felony. Somebody who was accused of a felony. I know he's indicted. I mean, he's been accused. I haven't seen any final words come down. But what does it really matter? He did the thing. He's guilty. He's guilty. And if he was anyone else, he'd be under the jail right now. He would be under the jail. So you pick one thing out of 50 things that we have said, 50 stats and all of this information, and you pick one thing out that was probably a slip of the tongue because indicted and all of that, right? Like, seriously? This is not your channel. This is not your channel. I'm just going to tell you, you might want to unsubscribe right now. Because you get caught up in the minutia and you miss the point. Is that really the point? Is it really the point that I misspoke? Or is the point that this man is dangerous and he's trying to eliminate democracy, period, the end? That's a fact. He said it. He said he wants to be like Putin. He said he thinks that the election was stolen, and we know good and well it wasn't. And you're arguing about semantics. You're missing the point. This is not your channel. What does America mean by the code phrases good schools and safe neighborhoods? Right? Are few blacks? Racism is in the DNA of the USA. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Exactly. Good schools are never in our neighborhoods. Right? Safe neighborhoods are never our neighborhoods.
Oh, no. Never.
So there was a quote that's in one of my old fluff movies, and it's from a book called Utopia. And basically, I'm going to paraphrase it, and this is what it says. First, you create criminals by your policies, and then you punish the criminals for being criminals. First, you make sure that people are undereducated and have a lack of opportunities so that they either have to work until they die or become a thief. Either way, you punish them for the fact that you created the situation. That's America. See? And what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hey, Craig.
All right.
You did Timbo Slice.
I did Timbo Slice. Very good. Thanks again. Whites are hostile about the white shift. Yeah, we're according to the census, 2045, they're going to be in the minority. Ooh, ouch. It's hard when you have undeserved privilege and it's being snatched away. Who moved my cheese, right? Exactly. Higher income tax brackets are not taxed, right? Because money is right. Money is speech, and so those who have the money have the most speech. They get their stuff in, right? And then they're not taxed, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to create a situation where you're going to have an underclass, where the majority of people have to struggle, where you allow minimum wage not to even meet basic standard needs, right? And then you punish them for it. When you allow Walmart to, as they're giving you your card, your identity card, your this and that for your new employment, they're also giving you a food stamp application and a Section 8 application as part of the welcome package at Walmart because they know they're going to be paying you poverty. Really? In the greatest, richest nation on earth, in the greatest, richest nation on earth, we have homeless that are out, it's out of control. It's out of control all over the globe, to be perfectly honest. But the whole globe ain't calling itself the best nation on earth and the biggest and the best and the brightest and the this and the that, right? You don't get to say that and then have that nonsense going on. Exactly. Well, it's not. It started TW before the death of newspapers, so it actually started in the '90s. All right, when they got rid of the fairness doctrine. So and with cable television, right, and the 24-hour news cycle. So it wasn't just the internet killing paper-based newspapers or traditional newspapers, because those traditional newspapers should have and could have stayed ahead of the curve and gotten their papers online faster. But you know how folks are. So, they went the way of Blockbuster. However, it did start before that, and that just made it worse. That just made it worse, TW. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. All right, y'all. It looks like we're coming to the end here. The media's job is to report the truth, not to give equal time. That's not true. That's not true. You don't give equal time to nonsense. That's the problem. Like their version of the fairness doctrine now is, okay, so this person over here said something. Okay, that makes sense. This person over here said something that makes no sense, but I'm not going to say it don't make no sense because that's not fair. That's their version of the fairness doctrine today. Back in the day, especially when it came to politics, before they got rid of the fairness doctrine or they took the teeth out of the fairness doctrine, it was equal time. It was equal time. But not equal time to nonsense. Like they were not going to treat a statement that is not based in fact as the same as this statement over here that was based in fact. That's another thing they did not do back in the day. Not to say that there hasn't been propaganda all along, because there has, but I do know that it was a lot different, and they would not have been able to get away with the nonsense in the media back in the day before the fairness doctrine got the teeth taken out of it. Trump said that he will put migrants in internment camps. What is the correlation here? I mean, they're not United States citizens, so they don't have the same rights. I don't know. If he said he's going to do it, chances are he's going to do it. He's going to do it, right? Portugal, Mexico, and Barbados. All right.
All right.
We'll see you here. If we're in Mexico when you're there, we'll see you there. Barbados is beautiful. But I can't do islands. I don't know if this is true, Piper, but I would not. Obama didn't strengthen anything. And I should take back that Bush did this. Bush suggested the Patriot Act. Congress and the Senate passed that crap, right? Obama can suggest something. The Senate and the Congress have to pass that crap. All right. Now, what the president can do is do executive orders to ask the CIA and the FBI to do this or do that, but it can't be against the Constitution, supposedly. Checks and balances, right? Checks and balances. If I could have convinced more slaves they were slaves, I could have freed thousands more.
Harriet Tubman.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh, Greta. I have, gosh, have you heard that quote before?
I've seen it.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it? I want to star that. So I can bring it back up at the end. You know, you guys are saying I'm going to let you go. Um, yeah. And for the person who was defending Trump earlier, I don't know if you're still here. I don't know if you're still here, but I don't play when it comes to that. We're not going. I work remotely, and it's hard when you have a spouse who thinks everything is okay while people are still buying $80,000 autos and Sephora, which is overpriced, right? Is packed. I don't know what to tell you. We were on the same page when we decided that it was time to go, and we looked and said, okay, we still don't have enough saved, because by that time we had gotten out of debt. And when we decided to say, okay, we're going to start saving 65% of our income, we were on the same page.
Mhm.
We were on the same page. When you know that there is a better life that eliminates the need for you to work as much or as hard, forget that Tesla. Get them bling bling shoes that Nordstrom used to like. Okay, let me work hard, let them kill me so I can have this and impress the people that I don't like, or give up the Tesla and move to your version of paradise. Really? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, baby. I'm not gonna say what Rashida would say. I'm not gonna say what Rashida would say. What would she say?
I ain't gonna say it.
What would she say?
I ain't saying
You
it.
can say it.
Nope.
I plan to retire out of the USA in 2026. However, I'm fully aware that white supremacy is global. It is global. Anti-Blackness is global. White supremacy is global. What is not global is lethal racism. Get dead because you're Black. What is not global is not being able to sit in the park and have a picnic without the police being called upon you. Not being able to sit in Starbucks for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours if we want to, with 1 cup of coffee without the police being called on us, right? That is not global. And we do not experience that here in Lisbon, Portugal. We hang out, we sit in a restaurant, unless they have a reservation, we'll sit in there and close the place down. Okay? We will sit in the park and not do anything and look as conspicuous as we want to. No one is paying attention. No one is asking us, why are we walking in this neighborhood? When we were up in the Beverly Hills part of Cascais, no one asked us why we were walking up there.
Mm-mm.
No one. That's what's not global. The low level of rage that is permeating throughout the United States, that I could feel, that was palpable as soon as you get off the plane, that is not global. You don't know. I didn't know. I did not know. I thought that that was normal until we left. And I'm like, oh my gosh, ain't nobody paying attention to us. Don't nobody care, right? Even when we were in Europe, in Italy, with the paramilitary type cops, until we walked in front of the embassy, they weren't paying attention to us,
Nope.
right? Not paying attention whatsoever. Those statistics at the beginning are real enough. We're in church today. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. That's all I'm saying. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. I've always told my friends to stop looking at the shiny stuff and pay attention to the powers that are throwing it out there, right? Be clear. It's no cakewalk. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Frederica says, the posse.
Commit.
Now, is this Latin? I take Latin. Comitatus Act of 1878 keeps troops out of neighborhoods for now.
For now.
Does it? it is supposed to keep them out of the neighborhoods. But if the president says XYZ, then what? Like he did back during the George Floyd, when George Floyd death set off all of those protests around, he was sending in military.
When he wanted to walk and read and hold the Bible up in front of the church and had all the military leaders and stuff with him.
It's disgusting.
Military leaders, senators, and everything else. It's like, really? And then he held it backwards.
Backwards and upside down. Pinky, are you getting in touch with Rossini? Let him help you. Let him help you. South Carolina just became an open carry state. I know.
Yep.
I know. Yep. Because we just had a client from North Carolina, and that made us like.
South Carolina. South Carolina.
Oh, I thought she was in North. No, she is in South Carolina. That's right. Project 20. Yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina. South Carolina is worse though. We drove through it. No, Project 2025 was recently brought to my attention. Do you know anything about this? I'm not sure that I do. I might. Tell me more. Interestingly, neutralized citizens join the cause for dictatorship versus democracy. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we have done historically. And when I say we, I mean human beings, not Black folks necessarily. And we cannot allow that to happen again. Like, we have so much information at our disposal that we don't have to do that. So now we talk about folks who are getting out of Dodge. That's what I want to hear. What would you sacrifice for freedom? And here is the thing. We have sacrificed our freedoms in the name of safety. And we have to be careful about that, because that's part of the game, right? They allow things to get so out of control until everyone feels so unsafe. And I think it was Thomas Jefferson that said, we have to protect freedom even when it feels like it's going to be unsafe. Something along that lines, he said, right? We cannot sacrifice freedom in the name of safety, because safety really is an illusion. Stuff can pop off anywhere. It really, really can.
So Ronick said something about the CIA.
Oh, the CIA agent stated because kids are brown and would not have the same opportunity in life as them. Okay, there you go. There you go. Right? Jon Stewart is back. Yeah, I heard he was back, but I didn't think he was back for good. Is he back for good? Now working on downsides. Okay, I saw that with Watch Exodus Summit, declutter expert Adelia. All right, let's get it done, Mary. Let's get it done. We did not watch Roland. I did not watch Roland Martin this week.
I watched him.
What was he on fire about this week?
Well, I saw him on the address, the presidential State of the Union address.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll have to watch it. I will have to watch it. I didn't want to watch the state. I watched clips of the State of the Union, and I have to say, the clips that I watched, Biden had some pretty good comebacks. I love it. So here's when you know that a politician is on his game, is when he gets people to argue against themselves and then says, well, I'm glad that you agree with me. Then you know that they're on his game. And so Biden was definitely on his game, which I know is rare because he's always putting his foot in his mouth. And so cute. And 3 HBCUs are in danger of closing in Mississippi, and St. Augustine and Raleigh lost their accreditation after asking for a 90-day extension to do degrees for May 2024 are legit. But didn't we just hear some Black person talking about all the money that Trump gave to these HBCUs?
Mm-hmm.
All this money. I'm not. I didn't know that. I thought to me, the searchlights meant there's a premiere movie going on, or there's a big store opening. Come look, because, as I was a kid, that's what they were used for. Not surprised that they had a nefarious beginning. If that is indeed true, would not be surprised at all. See you, Daniel. We are see, we're at 2 hours. I didn't want to go 2 hours. Mark Robinson, I'm in North Carolina and hubby wants out.
Leading in the polls. That's scary. Yeah, that's scary.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, Greta. Am I the only one concerned that years from now we'll wonder why Black folks didn't get out when the handwriting was on the wall? Hey, Jazzy. Right? I often wonder what the Jewish people were thinking as they saw these things happening. And so it was really eye-opening when I read the excerpt from that Jewish newspaper that the leader, or at least that Jewish leader, was saying that we don't have to worry about anything because there's checks and balances, right? I I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Southern strategy, Regina. All right, last one. What do you think the American message is to the world when the two biggest candidates that lead are bipolar and have dementia? I don't know that Joe is bipolar. I wouldn't doubt that he has some dementia. And the only reason I say that is because I just know people who worked in the White House back in the day. And I'm sure they would have told me about things like that when they were telling me the rest of the dish. But dementia, look, we know that white men don't get dementia at the same rate as black men because they don't have to deal with as much. That's a fact. But it's hard to deal with that much pressure, right? Like being president of the United States or even vice president, that's a lot of, like 24 hours, because something is always happening in some place in the world that could affect, national security, right? That's a lot. And how does that not wear on you? I don't know, Monica. We'll keep you posted. I don't know. We're in the same place that you are. The first step for us was to get out, right? Like get out and spread our money around. Like all of our money is not in one place. We have money, lots of different banks, lots of different places because a politician told me to do that. She also said, have a go bag. I read a story from a white male blogger, and he is very scared for the 60% of blacks in the South. If Civil War 2.0 breaks out, he's worried for us and suggests we leave. I believe that if Trump does not get reelected, there will be some type of civil unrest because he's going to say it was stolen. Right? And then it's going to be January 6th 2.0, but it's going to be on steroids. They're going to be prepared this time. That's all I'm saying, CK. Let's get our money straight. Let's get our money straight so we can get the heck out of Dodge and we don't have to worry about who is in power. Yeah, I'm not sure, CK, if that is necessarily the case. And I know what the Bible says, but the United States didn't exist when the Bible was written. So we don't know, And then white Europeans rewrote it. So we don't know. That lieutenant governor in North Carolina is the perfect example of meritorious manumission. Yeah, sometimes somebody has get those passports. Oh, so BRICS is a economic conglomerate or economic. I would say it's probably a trade agreement. It's almost like NATO. Well, no, because NATO is more about defense, whereas BRICS is more about economics. So I believe it's a trade agreement between Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa. What's the BRI? India. Yeah, India. I sponsored someone to come here, had to sign a contract to pay back my any means tested benefits. Wow. If immigrants got any, wow. They had enough money saved to support both of us for 2 or 3 years. See, it's not easy. It is not easy to move to the United States. It really isn't. And so, well, we'll see. We will see. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. I think we have said it. So let's go. I'm going to go back through it just one more time. Not all of those statistics, But
Drinking warm water before bed resets glucose level.
he's trying to look something up about bricks, and he tapped on YouTube. And he tapped on YouTube and started playing it, y'all. All right. So, signs that the US is failing. The fact that we have been obedient in advance of the political powers even telling us that they are going to take away some of our rights, right? We understand that that's a fact when we see Black folks defending Trump. We're not defending the institutions. We're not defending the institutions that are supposed to be the checks and balances. Hence, the Supreme Court of the United States is out of control, right? We allowed the GOP to steal a United States Supreme Court seat away from Obama, and we did nothing. And we did nothing. We are now a one-party country. We have the Democrats and we have the cult of Trump. They can call themselves the grand old party if they want to, but they're not the party that my grandfather voted for. I know that's the fact. We have gotten used to signs of hate, and we're not eliminating them before they permeate. All right? Professional ethics in the toilet. We have a huge increase of paramilitary activity. They have been using language as a weapon. Investigative reporting does not exist, and there's been an abandonment of facts and truth. And that is the thing. When the Flat Earth Society gets reinvigorated, anybody who's in the Flat Earth Society should not be allowed to vote. They should be given the jelly bean test. How many jelly beans, Flat Earth person? Tyranny invades our personal lives, and it has already started. It started with Bush. It probably started before Bush #1, but with the internet and the Patriot Act, right? And they will use the information that they collect against you. Once the democracy falls, they will use that information against you. Try and not use what do you call it when it gets scrambled? When your text messages get scrambled before they're sent, you know what I'm talking about. So that the person can't read it in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word right now, but try not to use methods of communication that don't put a scrambling safety mechanism on it. And then, so that's tyranny invades our personal lives. And then, of course, dangerous words. Dangerous words. And we've gotten used to all of it.
Cipher? You decipher something?
No, it's not that. I can't think of the word right now. All right, y'all. We love you. We love you. We hope that we have convinced you. If you are watching from the future and you want to jump into the comments and talk about all the stuff that's wrong and how every place else is wrong and all this other stuff, feel free, but don't expect a response. I'm tired. I ain't responding. I'm not going to respond. I know the truth, and the truth is the statistics don't lie. The United States is killing us, and it's time to get out, and we have a solution. If you need to get your money straight, Beyond the Bling, Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence will be your roadmap to getting your money straight so you can get the heck out of Dodge as soon as possible. If you want to move to Portugal and you don't know where to start, I'm telling you, you need to start with our summit, our virtual summit, and get it online. The replays are discounted, right, for the replays. And so all of that information is below. You can always book a call with us or get our Ready to Retire Toolkit, which I just updated today. And that new version also is in the description below. It's 100% free. And we will see you on Thursday, y'all. Love you. Bye.